Welcome back, champions. Today, we're diving into a topic that lies at the very heart of power and influence, one that has shaped the destinies of leaders, kings, and even empires: the art of controlling the narrative. By the end of this discussion, you will understand how to craft and manipulate the stories that others believe, shaping perceptions to your advantage with Machiavellian tactics. This is not just a skill, it is a force that, when wielded correctly, can alter the course of your life and the world around you. Imagine for a moment that the world is a vast stage, and every person you meet is an actor playing their part. The scripts they follow, their beliefs, their opinions, their fears, are all influenced by the narratives that surround them. These narratives, whether crafted by society, the media, or individuals, guide their actions and shape their reality. But what if you could write the script? What if you could control the narrative, influencing not just how others see you, but how they see the world itself? This is the essence of Machiavellian manipulation, an ancient art that has been practiced by some of history's most powerful figures. Machiavelli himself, the father of this philosophy, understood that the key to power lies not just in brute force or wealth, but in the ability to control how others perceive reality. He famously wrote in The Prince, "Men are so simple and so subject to present necessities that he who seeks to deceive will always find someone who will allow himself to be deceived." This is not about deceit for its own sake, but about the strategic use of perception to achieve one's goals. Consider the story of Julius Caesar, who masterfully controlled the narrative to secure his rise to power. By presenting himself as a champion of the people, he garnered immense public support, even as he maneuvered behind the scenes to dismantle the Roman Republic. His carefully crafted image as a benevolent leader masked his true intentions, allowing him to seize power without immediate opposition. This is the power of narrative control in action, the ability to shape perceptions and guide the thoughts and actions of others toward a desired outcome. In our modern world, the ability to control the narrative is more important than ever. With the rise of social media and 24/7 news cycles, information and misinformation spreads at lightning speed. Those who can craft compelling narratives can shape public opinion, influence decisions, and ultimately control outcomes. Whether in politics, business, or personal relationships, the power to shape the narrative is the power to shape reality. But how does one go about mastering this art? It begins with understanding the fundamentals of human psychology. People are naturally drawn to stories. They resonate with us on a deep emotional level. A well-crafted narrative can bypass rational thought and speak directly to our emotions, compelling us to believe and act in ways that pure logic cannot. This is why the most successful leaders, marketers, and influencers are also master storytellers. They understand that to influence others, you must first capture their imagination. One of the key strategies in controlling the narrative is the use of framing. Framing involves presenting information in a way that influences how it is perceived. For example, consider the difference between describing a policy as tax relief versus tax cuts for the rich. Both phrases might describe the same action, but the framing dramatically changes how it is perceived. Tax relief suggests a burden being lifted, a positive change, while tax cuts for the rich implies inequality and favoritism. By carefully choosing your words and how you present information, you can shape how others perceive it. Another powerful technique is the use of repetition. As Joseph Goebbels, Hitler's infamous propaganda minister, once said, "If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it." While Goebbels' tactics were extreme and morally reprehensible, the principle he understood remains true. Repetition is a powerful tool in shaping beliefs. By consistently reinforcing a particular narrative, you can embed it in the minds of others, making it part of their reality. However, controlling the narrative is not just about what you say, but also about what you leave unsaid. Silence can be just as powerful as words. By strategically withholding information, you can create ambiguity and force others to fill in the gaps, often in ways that align with the narrative you want to create. This technique can be particularly effective in situations where direct confrontation would be counterproductive. Instead of outright denying or confirming something, leaving it unsaid can create a sense of mystery or doubt, which you can then exploit to your advantage. Let's delve into the realm of personal relationships, where narrative control plays a crucial role in shaping perceptions and outcomes. In romantic relationships, for example, the story you tell about yourself, whether consciously or unconsciously, can determine how your partner sees you. Are you the dependable, strong partner who can be relied upon in difficult times, or the mysterious, unpredictable one who keeps things exciting? By crafting and controlling this narrative, you can influence the dynamics of the relationship to your advantage. This does not mean being inauthentic, but rather understanding the power of perception. Every action, every word, every gesture contributes to the story you are telling about yourself. By being aware of this, you can ensure that the narrative aligns with your goals, whether that is to build trust, maintain excitement, or establish dominance. The same principles apply to friendships and social circles. By controlling the narrative around your role in the group, you can influence how others perceive you and your place within the social hierarchy. This might involve subtly positioning yourself as the peacemaker in conflicts, the one who others turn to for advice, or the leader who sets the tone for the group. By consistently reinforcing this narrative, you can establish yourself as a key player within your social circles, someone whose influence is both respected and sought after. In the professional world, narrative control is a critical skill for career advancement. Here, the stakes are often higher, as perceptions of your abilities and intentions can have a direct impact on your opportunities and success. By carefully managing how you present yourself to colleagues, superiors, and clients, you can shape the narrative around your career. For instance, consider how you frame your achievements. Are you the hardworking, dedicated employee who goes above and beyond, or the innovative thinker who brings fresh ideas to the table? By controlling this narrative, you can position yourself for promotions, raises, and new opportunities. It's not just about what you accomplish, but how you present those accomplishments to others. Moreover, in competitive environments, narrative control can be the difference between success and failure. By subtly influencing how others perceive your competitors, you can shift the balance of power in your favor. This might involve highlighting their mistakes or weaknesses, questioning their motivations, or subtly positioning yourself as the more reliable and trustworthy option. The goal is to create a narrative where you are seen as the best choice, the one who others can depend on for success. One of the most effective ways to control the narrative in a professional setting is through strategic storytelling. By crafting stories that highlight your successes, resilience, and leadership, you can create a powerful narrative that others will remember and repeat. This can be particularly effective in team meetings, presentations, or one-on-one conversations with superiors. The key is to make the story relatable and relevant, connecting your experiences to the goals and values of the organization. As we move from the personal and professional spheres to the broader social and political landscape, the stakes of narrative control become even more significant. In these arenas, controlling the narrative can shape public opinion, influence policy, and even determine the outcome of elections. The power to craft and control narratives is a potent weapon in the hands of those who understand its potential. Consider the role of narrative in politics. Politicians and their advisors are acutely aware of the importance of controlling the narrative, as it can determine their success or failure. By framing issues in a particular way, they can influence how voters perceive those issues, and by extension, how they vote. For example, framing a policy as protecting national security rather than limiting civil liberties can dramatically change public perception and garner support for the policy. In international relations, narrative control is equally important. Nations often engage in what is known as soft power, using cultural influence, diplomacy, and media to shape the narrative and influence how they are perceived by the global community. This can involve everything from promoting national values and ideals through media to controlling the narrative around military actions or economic policies. By shaping the narrative, nations can build alliances, deter adversaries, and advance their interests on the global stage. However, the power of narrative control is not without its risks. As with any powerful tool, it can be misused or backfire if not handled with care. A narrative that is too tightly controlled can lead to accusations of manipulation or deceit, eroding trust and credibility. This is why it is essential to strike a balance between controlling the narrative and maintaining authenticity. The most effective narratives are those that resonate with people on a genuine level, even as they are carefully crafted to achieve specific goals. In recent years, we have seen the rise of fake news and disinformation campaigns, which are extreme examples of narrative control gone awry. These tactics involve spreading false or misleading information to manipulate public perception and achieve political or financial objectives. While these methods can be effective in the short term, they ultimately undermine trust in institutions and the media, leading to long-term consequences that can be difficult to reverse. This is why ethical considerations must be at the forefront when practicing narrative control. The goal should not be to deceive or manipulate, but to influence in a way that aligns with your values and the greater good. By controlling the narrative with integrity, you can build trust, inspire loyalty, and achieve lasting success. As we draw this discussion to a close, let's reflect on the power that lies within each of us to control the narratives that shape our lives. This is not merely an intellectual exercise, but a practical tool that can profoundly impact your personal and professional journey. Whether you're seeking to advance in your career, enhance your relationships, or influence social dynamics, understanding and mastering narrative control can be your gateway to achieving your goals. The key to wielding this power effectively lies in understanding the principles behind narrative control and applying them with purpose and integrity. Machiavellian tactics, when used wisely, are not about deception for deception's sake, but about aligning perceptions with strategic objectives. It's about understanding human nature and leveraging that understanding to craft compelling stories that guide and influence others. In your personal relationships, consider how you might use narrative control to build stronger connections. By framing your interactions in a way that highlights your positive qualities and intentions, you can foster trust and deepen bonds. This doesn't mean manipulating others for selfish gain, but rather presenting yourself in a way that reflects your true self and strengthens the relationships that matter to you. In your professional life, narrative control can be a game changer. By carefully managing your public image, strategically framing your successes, and subtly influencing how others perceive your role and contributions, you can advance your career and open doors to new opportunities. Remember that in a competitive environment, how you are perceived can be as important as your actual performance. On a broader scale, consider the power of narrative in shaping societal views and public opinion. Whether you're involved in politics, social advocacy, or community leadership, the ability to craft and control narratives can drive change and influence outcomes. By presenting issues in a compelling way and aligning them with the values and aspirations of your audience, you can mobilize support and effect meaningful change. However, with great power comes great responsibility. The techniques of narrative control should be wielded with care, ensuring that they are used ethically and in alignment with your values. Manipulating narratives for personal gain at the expense of others can lead to mistrust and backlash. Instead, aim to use your understanding of narrative control to create positive outcomes and foster genuine connections. As we conclude, Remember that mastering the art of narrative control is an ongoing process. It requires continuous reflection, adaptation, and learning. The narratives you craft today can set the stage for your future success and shape the way you are remembered. By harnessing the power of narrative with wisdom and integrity, you can navigate the complexities of life with confidence and purpose. If you found this discussion enlightening, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. By doing so, you can ensure that you receive the content that resonates with you and supports your journey towards personal and professional growth. Check out our other videos to expand your knowledge of ancient wisdom and continue developing your understanding of power and influence. Until next time, champions, stay strong and stay committed to your path.